Hello, everyone. Hello, Roslyn. I see you there in the comments. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's Daphne with Relax with Daphne, and I'm very excited about the intentions tonight. Really fun intentions for all of us. So let me turn down my phone so we don't get any interruptions. And let's begin by breathing together. And we do that by putting our hands over our hearts. Hi, Roslyn. Hi, Diane G. Welcome back. Hands over our hearts to remind us to breathe through the chakras, through the heart chakra. So let's breathe in together, very relaxed. 4, 5, 6. Exhaling slightly longer. 5, 6, 7. Inhaling slightly longer. Exhale, signaling to the body that it's safe to relax. You might want to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Feel the chair or the bed or the floor supporting your body. Arriving here in this moment, connecting heart to heart with me and with everybody who's watching this live or who will be joining us in the recording. In and out, connecting heart to heart, bringing your brain and your heart into coherence. Very peaceful, nowhere to be but here, nothing to do but this. In and out. In and out. Thank you, everyone. We are now connected. And for our first intention tonight, very excited to bring you these intentions, working with plant spirits and plant consciousness. I originally didn't know what I would be talking about tonight, but both cacao, which is where we get chocolate, and the vanilla orchid came through and really wanted to be a part of these intentions. And both of these plants are struggling in their native habitats and where they have been naturalized around the world. There is a fungus that's attacking cacao. Climate change is becoming more and more of a problem for these beautiful trees. And there's only a few places in the world that can grow. So we're going to support them with an intention. We absolutely love the products that these plants bring us, and it'd be lovely if you can see when we drop into the intention, try to connect with the plant itself and look for any feelings, images, any memories, any sensations that come through. Our first intention. We now intend that humanity protects the world's cacao trees immediately, completely, and permanently from climate change and all other threats, fostering healthy and abundant forests of these marvelous trees. So allow this intention to drop into your heart chakra. Send it spiraling out from your heart into the quantum universe and follow the energy. everyone. Trust this intention and release it with love. Our second intention. Hello, Dama Divina. Glad you're here. Our second intention. We now intend that humanity protects the vanilla orchids of Mexico and Madagascar immediately, completely, and permanently from climate change and all other threats, fostering healthy and abundant populations of these wonderful plants. Allow this intention to drop into your heart chakra, send it spiraling out into the universe, and follow the energy. Thank you, everyone. Trust this intention and release it with love. Now, our third intention is for all of us. And hi, Janet. Glad you're here. One of the greatest sources of joy in my life is the connection with plant consciousness. These are very similar to spirit guides. And if you are able to connect with plants, and they all have different personalities and different essences and different sort of spiritual presentations. But if you can talk to a plant, you will never be lonely or alone. And the primary offering that they have for us is absolute unconditional love. I mean, how could you taste chocolate or vanilla and not feel beloved, right? The plants give us so much, and they are, in some cultures, they're called the ones who take care of us. They provide everything. They provide clothing and food and medicine and shelter. And I would love for you to be able to connect with plants directly the way I do. So that's why I wrote this intention for us. We now intend to immediately, completely, and permanently open to plant consciousness, connecting first with their unconditional love for humanity. So allow this intention to drop into your heart chakra. Send it spiraling out into the quantum field and follow the energy. Thank you, everyone. Trust this intention and release it with love. And so it is. Hi, Enid. Glad you're here. So, we intended for the cacao forests of the world, and we intended for the vanilla orchids of Mexico and Madagascar, and then we intended for us to connect with plant consciousness. So I would love to hear from you what you experienced during the intentions, and there's no wrong or right there's no wrong answers. All the answers are right, because whatever you're experiencing during those meditations is as it should be. And I know I've been doing this type of meditation with people for 6 or 7 years now, and it grows. The more you do this type of meditation, the more you see, the more you feel, the more information you collect. So I would love to hear from any of you what you might have experienced during that. And especially if you felt any emotion around either of the or any of the intentions. I know that the first time I spoke to a plant, it was quite a surprise. I didn't expect that I would be having a telepathic conversation with a plant, and yet there was no denying it, because it gave me information that there's no way I knew before that conversation. It was spoken in an entirely different voice. It wasn't my imagination. And from that moment, my life absolutely changed and was vastly improved. And it's just one of the most delightful things in life to be able to communicate with plants. So I'll watch the comments, but I'll tell you what I experienced in the first meditation for cacao. I've meditated with cacao a number of times and have participated and led cacao ceremonies, which are a blast. They're absolutely so much fun. And cacao is, when I meet up with her, she does present to me as feminine energy. She's very maternal, very nourishing, very nurturing. And she reminded me that she loves to work with writers, artists, anyone who is undertaking a creative endeavor. And she reminded me that I could indeed call on her if I need help with my writing. So I absolutely love to be reminded of that. Okay, great. Here's our first comment from Diane. For the cacao intention, I saw people educating others about cacao and what environment they thrive in. People shifting planting techniques based on this information. Yes, absolutely. We are going to have to figure out what to do with plants. We already know plants are migrating northward. They're migrating up elevations to try and compensate for the change in temperature and precipitation. So we know that people can play a huge part of that, especially with cacao, because there are both commercial cacao farms that are run by businesses, and then there are also traditional forests. So we have a lot to learn. We have a lot to do to take care of them. Thank you, Diane. That's amazing. And cacao in itself, I mean, I think that it began in Central America, Northern South America, and they have since put in a lot of cacao in Africa. And I think those are the forests that are being attacked by the black fungus. So I hope they get a handle on that soon. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to meditate on their health and their safety. I had never intended with the vanilla orchid before, and that was a trip. Let's see what Diane G says about that. For the vanilla orchids, I saw them thriving in different habitats, on trees, on rocks, and barks near rivers. Bees and butterflies are around and doing their thing with pollinating. Thank goodness. Absolutely. That's beautiful. Yes. Vanilla orchid, the temperament, it was really interesting because the immediate impression I got was that there was a little bit of a sense of dissatisfaction. When we call someone vanilla, we mean that they're plain, and vanilla protests that and says that there's depth and layers to the flavor of vanilla, and there's depth and layers to the message that she brings humanity from the gift that she's giving to us in the vanilla bean is very complicated and complex. And she also compared herself to coffee, which is another plant I considered meditating on, but these two came in very strongly and wanted to be a part of this conversation about plant consciousness. And I think it's worth, next time you taste vanilla or something flavored with real vanilla, not artificial vanilla, to see if you can discern different complexities, different flavors that are intermixed with the vanilla. Very, very interesting. Thank you. And Rosalind, feeling so happy and so grateful to all of them. Yes, yes. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Oh, that makes sense. While meditating, I was hearing the song Ordinary and didn't understand why. That's fantastic. Yes. Yes. Layers, complexity. It is quite strong. It can be quite a strong flavor depending on how we use it. And vanilla orchids are protesting on being called ordinary. Yes. Yeah, now vanilla can be sort of a code word in some communities and some contexts, but just the being grateful for, being attentive to, being appreciative of the foods that we have around us, the things the plants make for us, right? Like you eat an apple and a tree made that for you, right? And one of the things they're reminding me to say is that when you grow your own food, and you spend time cultivating the plants understand your nutritional needs and your body's particular needs, and they will actually adapt the nutrition levels in the vegetables and fruits and berries that you grow for yourself to customize them for you. And I don't know why they wanted to say that. Somebody out there needs to hear that, I suppose. Yes. And then the third meditation, where we're connecting with the plants and feeling and perceiving the unconditional love they have for us, that was just a joy. I felt like I was at a party with all my favorite people, just the joy that they bring. And, not every plant is the same. Not every plant wants to talk to us. So we need to have a respectful relationship with them and approach them and ask them if they want to communicate and connect. And I think the results will be quite surprising, and I can't wait for you to come back and comment on what you might experience after this intention. For the intention on connecting with plants, Diane G was surprised because when I released it from the heart chakra, I felt the energy going down to my root and connecting to the ground. And I felt the roots of the plants and trees around me, and it felt like I was holding hands with them. Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. Yes, it's a very real experience to connect with plants. And I think a lot of people who love gardening, a lot of people who have houseplants and call themselves plant moms and plant daddies, I think they are sensing it on a certain level, how good they feel when they're near their plants and taking care of their plants. And it's really just taking one more small step forward in acknowledging that the plants have consciousness. And we know they do because in laboratory studies, they have hooked plants up to sensors, and when a researcher approaches the plant with a pair of scissors intending to cut off a leaf, the plants are reacting to the intention. The researcher doesn't get anywhere near it. They doesn't actually cut off a leaf, but the plants know what we're thinking when we approach them. So this is why we don't normally have telepathic communication available to us, because we don't have really good control of our thoughts, right? But plants are very sensitive. They have millions of years of evolutionary information in their the physical bodies of the plants that we interact with, and they know humanity very, very well. If they can customize a tomato for your nutritional needs, they will know when you approach them, and if your intentions are to have a loving, respectful conversation relationship with them. So definitely be mindful of that. And no, we're not perfect. We don't have perfect control of our thoughts at every time, but plants are a really safe and wonderful way to practice that telepathic communication. And then, someday we're going to be ready to connect telepathically with each other. Certainly our pets are trying to teach us. They know what we're thinking. They know what our intentions are, and the plants do too. Well, thank you, everyone. That was really fun. One of my most favorite things in the world to talk about is plants, plant spirits, plants consciousness. For the next 3 weeks, I'm going to, I love doing these sort of themed meditations, but I'm inviting all of you to send in requests for intentions. Next week, I want to focus on romantic love. I have one more spot for that, somebody who's looking for love or who wants to have a better relationship with their spouse or their partner. And then September 3rd, I'm going to focus on friendship, and on September 10th on family. So please send requests to relaxwithdaphne@gmail.com, and we will go from there. Thank you so much, everyone. What a delight to spend this time with you. And if you are connecting in these meditations through the recording, please know that these intentions transcend time and space, and you are connecting with the main energy of these meditations. And definitely let me know how it goes for you and what you think and what you are discovering in the few minutes that we're sending these thoughts out into the quantum field. I'm very, very interested. Do I have a disentangle time in the chat? I love that so much. I love our traditions. And hi, Vivian. Glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you so much. And here we go. Interesting experience. You're welcome. You're welcome so much. Thanks for coming and sharing it with me. And so let's, here we go. It's our disentangle time. Thank you. All right, everyone. Pause. And yes, indeed, it is time to disentangle your energy from the group and from all the intentions we did tonight. Your energy coming back to you, energy of the intentions and any other connection we've made going back to them, a little bit of energy hygiene. So let's breathe together. In through the heart chakra, out through the heart. Slightly longer exhale. Feeling your energy shift just that little bit back to the room where you are. Feeling the temperature of the air around you. Noticing the sounds. Feeling the earth, the floor, the chair, the bed, the sofa supporting your body. Feeling quite relaxed and comfortable. letting go of any concerns about the cacao trees or the vanilla orchids, knowing we've done good work tonight to support our relationship with those wonderful, wonderful plants. And looking forward to experimenting, connecting with plant consciousness as we go forward into our week. And so it is. Thank you, everyone. Wonderful to spend time with you, and I'll see you next week.